Hey there, friends. Pastor Jason here. I'm glad you can join me in our little series on how to find a church in this day and age. Now, last week we talked about the ins and outs of why going to a church in person is important. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll try to put a link somewhere. But once you've decided that you're going to go, how do you find a church? Well, a couple different things I can give you, a couple pieces of advice. The biggest one is just simply ask a friend. Maybe a friend has invited you to church and you just never went for whatever reason, or maybe you went with them a year or so ago. Talk with them, make sure their service times are still the same and whatever, but ask a friend. Or maybe you've got a coworker who goes to church and you know that they go to church. Ask where they go. Maybe they don't live anywhere near you and the church they go to is nowhere near you. Maybe they know of a church in your area. So don't be afraid to ask, hey, do you know of anything near where I live? Because sometimes Christians know. They kind of know the churches in the roundabout, your neck of the woods, their neck of the woods in the expanded area. And then clearly the next piece is Google, right? Just Google churches in my area. Specifically speaking, Google Maps. You want to take a look first at the churches that are about 20 to 30 minutes from your house, a 20 to 30 minute drive. That's going to might be a blessing to you on a Sunday morning. Maybe if you have to corral kids into the car or whatever, or maybe you're just not looking to drive 45 minutes there, spend an hour or so, and then drive 45 minutes back. But that's not outside the possibility or the realm of thinking that you might drive that far. But I would encourage you, look for something within 20 to 30 minutes from your house and see how they might be a blessing to you and how you might bless them. And with Google Maps, right, that'll give you the phone number and the address and all that jazz. And then it'll also say website, right? Check out their website. Go to the church's websites, kind of do a little poking around, see what the church might be about. I would suggest to you sample some of the latest service videos. You don't have to watch the whole thing to kind of get a feel for what the preacher preaches like, what the music is like, what maybe the people are like, or what a Sunday morning feels like at that church. You kind of get a little bit of an idea. So check out, just sample the services. Social media, maybe on their website they'll point you to their social media. Or maybe you can just do that directly. Just search out the church name on your favorite social media. But keep in mind, churches might not keep up with all the different platforms, right? So they might not be on your favorite platform. You might need to go to different platforms to hear what's going on currently at their church. Their social media might have the most up-to-date information about, hey, there's a birthday celebration going on this weekend, or there's a missionary coming to town, we want you to be there, or hey, we're doing, a game night, or hey, we've got this movie we're showing, or, hey, help us benefit the community by doing X, Y, or Z. Their social media might be a good place for you to find out what's going on, as well as their website. Now, understand, many small rural churches, or maybe even not rural churches, they might not have a website or social media or that sort of thing. Doesn't make them any less valuable, doesn't make them any less a blessing. So what then? How do you find out about those? Again, I would have you ask a friend, ask someone who lives in the area. Hey, what do you know about this little church out here on the dirt road? What about this little church over there? Another great way to find out about maybe the smaller churches or other ways to find maybe even big churches is maybe you've got like a local paper. They typically run ads in them, at least giving the service time and so forth. Check those out, or maybe listen to the radio. I know a lot of us, we have our devices where we listen to our own music, but the radio might come in handy. But another simple way to do it is just take a drive. Drive around town where you live, drive around the neighborhood, keep your eyes open, look for different places that are, frankly, church buildings. You might even decide to try it on a Sunday morning because, believe it or not, Don't be surprised when you find out that the church meets in a school or that it meets in a warehouse. They just kind of put up little signs and say, hey, there's a church meeting in this building. Because what they do is they come in, they set up for a Sunday morning, and then after service is over, they tear everything down and leave the site. So don't be surprised if a church near you, maybe with a website and social media, is just meeting in a school building. Those are just some of the simple ways that you can find a church in your area. Again, talk to the people that you know. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. I'm sure they would love to be able to help you out. So next week, we're going to take a look at what to have your eyes open to when you actually visit a church and what you can maybe expect to see and kind of help you decide whether or not this is where you should call your church home. With that, I hope this was a blessing to you. Go on out, be a blessing to those around you, and I'll see you next week.